Let me get comfortable. Yeah. Yeah. Ooh, that's just... Hey, so I'm not sure if it's just me that's noticed this recently, but society is so sexualized. Everything is so sexual. Everything is like meant to be sexy. That sounds weird, but let me kind of explain. Let me explain what I'm thinking. So, I was just playing a bit of Marvel Rivals, as you do, after work, giving myself a little treat, played a couple rounds of ranked, and I just realized, like, why why do these characters look like this? I'll put an example here, maybe. Oop. And it's like, yeah, the sole reason for this is to stimulate a sexual reaction from men. Let's be honest. And it's like, yeah, this is everywhere now. Like, sexual images are everywhere, and it's really, really quite strange. Because let's be honest. If we're thinking on a deeper level here, because we like to get deep around here, what does this mean? Because I'm someone that believes there are no coincidences. I think everything is done for a reason. So, with that in mind, what would the reason be for companies and organizations to want to trigger these sexual reactions from their viewers, which are mostly male? I think it has something to do with the old saying that sex sells. And sadly, society has become more and more free and willing to offer sex on a platter, for lack of a better term. And I feel like nowadays, sex is so trivialized and just kind of overplayed to an extent where it's like we're just so numb to it. Like, I'm sure if you showed like someone from, I don't know, the 1950s, like an Insta reel, for example, that I get all the time, which is just like random women just twerking or something, or random women just shaking their butt, or just showing their body or something, they might have a fucking heart attack. But we're seeing this stuff every day, every day. And before you say, well, that's your algorithm, they're showing it to you because you like it. No. I press the whole not interested thing so many times. I've done it so many times. And Instagram clearly does not give a fuck. Instagram does not care. Instagram has its own agenda, clearly. Anyway, that's not the point here. So what I'm trying to say is there's clearly a push for men, well, not just men, or just in general, for sex to be just something that everyone has access to, but not sex itself, of course. Just these sexual feelings. I don't know. It's quite strange because one thing that I always used to think was that I think everyone remembers this as a kid. Like, sex is kind of gross. It's kind of scary. It's like, ooh, like two people in a bed doing weird stuff. And I feel like now there's like no innocence anymore. I don't think kids have that stage anymore where they don't know what sex is, or if they do, that stage is very, very short, and it's getting shorter and shorter. And I think that's a big issue. I think there should be some sort of, I don't know, mystery when it comes to that. Maybe not mystery, but maybe just more education rather than just throwing it at you willy nilly and saying, "Yeah, here's some butt cheeks. 10-year-old kid, deal with it, figure it out." Because I feel like that is what's going on right now. Young kids are just being literally thrown hundreds and thousands of different videos of sexual images of women doing things, and there's no one there to really give them context behind this. Like, oh yeah, by the way, she's doing this for money, by the way. Like, this is a job for this person. Because let's be honest, as a young man, I remember the first time I saw like pornography, and back in those days, it was still something very sneaky and a bit yucky, and like guys would show you, you'd be laughing and stuff. But I think nowadays it's so normal to the point where I have like two younger nephews who are like quite young, and I can guarantee they've both seen porn. I'm pretty sure they've both seen porn, and that's pretty sad, especially since, like, let's be honest, for a lot of young guys, that is their first introduction to sex and what sex is. Two actors basically doing it, made for the male gaze. Yeah, so back on to talking about society's push of sexuality. I think recently this explosion with like these OnlyFans models and OnlyFans becoming normal and like a thing that people actually do as a career option. Like, I'm just gonna go and sell pictures of videos of my body and stuff. Like, that's just normal now. I just feel like we're getting so far away from God, and not just God, just like general decency. I feel like decency is a thing of the past now. It's like, I don't know, everyone just kind of lives like there's no consequences to shit, and then no one really gives a fuck. I guess that's why things have got more sexual. There's no rules anymore in the West. For being honest, people wanted liberty, and we've kind of got liberty to an extent. And this liberty has included sexual liberty, so you can just show your sexuality whenever, wherever, and no one can be upset about it, even if kids are seeing it, apparently. I just really don't agree with it. And something that's really bothering me about it is the effect that I know it's having on men in particular, but just society at large. Because I do one-to-one consultations where I talk to lots of men and understand what their issues with, and so many men are having the same issue, which is lust addiction, porn addiction, like chasing female validation. And it's really sad that a lot of these guys aren't getting the help they need, and society does not give a fuck. If anything, it's doubling down on it. It's giving them more fucking giving them more temptation, giving them more opportunities to just mess up. And I think something we really need to understand is that what is lust? Like, what is lust? Because for me, lust really is like the lack of love. It's like selfish. It's like a very greedy, innate part of human nature. It's like it just wants to feed. It's a bit like a symbiotic virus, like venom. It just wants to consume more and more. It will never have enough. I can guarantee, like, there's never going to be a certain amount of sex you can have. Like, okay, yeah, I'm not lustful anymore. Like, I've had my fill. That isn't what lust is. Lust is greedy. That's why lust is one of the 7 deadly sins. It's one of those things that you can never get enough of. And to realize that, I was at a point in my life once where I was extremely lustful, where I was, just down bad. I was addicted to porn, and I would go around the world with these images in my brain, and it would literally taint the way that I saw life. It would taint the way that I saw women, especially. I was always checking women out, always having a dirty dialogue in my head, and that was not fun. And realizing that I wasn't weird, and that was how a lot of guys are. But now that I'm away from it and I can look back, I'm like, yeah, fuck. No wonder so many guys out there just have weird energy about them. Because I probably had that energy as well, where I kind of walk around with shame, and it makes me like weird because I don't know how to communicate with people, because I don't like myself. Because I think a large part of this, push for sexuality in society is just due to a lack of self-love. Oh, that's a real one right there. I think a lot of people that have these addictions to lust and to sexuality and porn, etc., there's a real lack of self-love, and there's a lack of self-regulation. Because what happens is that people look for these outlets to kind of subsidize what they're lacking within themselves. So I guess lust is like a lack of self-love. Yeah, because you're trying to find that feeling of like acceptance and love and someone appreciating you through sex, which you're never going to find, especially if it's like porn, like you're just watching people do that act. Because what you're doing is you're subconsciously trying to place yourself into that experience, where realistically that experience in itself is void of meaning. That is like two cars just colliding over and over again. Like there's no actual substance to it. But because you don't know what it means to love yourself, you take that as a replacement. And that's something I really had to understand. Like, I was addicted to this stuff because I didn't love myself. There was no way that I would love myself and I'd be doing that shit. Because I know that the long term effects of it are awful. And again, that's something I feel like so many young men are going to experience in the future unless they stop. Where society might be pushing this sexual liberation and there's these sexual images towards you, but it's your choice to consume them or not. And the truth is, if you want to just get in line with everyone else to consume this shit, you can't be surprised when you have the same results as everyone else, where you're just a guy in your 40s who's probably got divorced now because you had a fucking porn addiction throughout your marriage and you weren't able to actually be present in your kid's life because you have shame and you hate yourself, and then now you're just a single guy who's probably still addicted to porn. It's like, yeah, that is not the route to go down. It really is not. And although you might feel like maybe it's okay because everyone else does it, you don't want to be like everyone else. I don't want to be like everyone else, but at least that's why I know. That's one of the main reasons I had to stop that shit, because I knew if most people are doing this shit and I think most people are fucking dumb, I ain't doing that shit no more. Plain and simple. Like, if I can see everyone waiting in line for, I don't know, fuck that. I was about to have an awful example there. But actually, no. if everyone's waiting in line to fucking have sex with Bonnie Blue or that other lady or something, like, bro, what is that about? That's so crazy. I can't believe this is a real thing. Like, guys are like seriously waiting in line to have sex with one woman in the dirty, stinky room with a bunch of other guys waiting in line. This is how down bad we are as a society right now. Men honestly feel like sex is that important that I'll wait in line for it. Yeah, sure. Like, it's scary, really scary times. Guys do not respect themselves. Guys do not love themselves. And again, I think this whole push from society to over-sexualize us and keep us addicted is by purpose. Because when men are addicted, they isolate themselves. And when men are isolated, they are weak. And when men are weak, they consume. And when men consume, they don't stop. They don't stop. They'll stay on that conveyor belt. That conveyor belt. Conveyor belt. Goodness gracious, I need to work on my articulation. But yeah, I think men will literally stay on that conveyor belt, on that rat race, doing the same shit just so they can survive. And, keep in this isolated position where they don't have anyone around them that cares about them, and then they use porn and lust and OnlyFans or whatever to subsidize all the relationships that they're lacking. And I think it's a real shame. Someone's calling me, one sec. Okay, we're back. So yeah, when I believe that the whole reason that sex and stuff is pushed to men is to keep us isolated, so we kind of just stick to the status quo. When men are individualized and atomized, we're very weak. We're very weak. Humans in general, when you isolate them, they're more likely to believe whatever lies you tell them. Because, as you know, humans are communal creatures. When we're together, we're strong. And when we're isolated, we're very, very weak. Especially in today's society, when you're isolated, this is when you start scrolling. This is when you start going on your phone. This is when you have screen time of 10 hours. And this is when you start, visiting the hub, doing all that shit. It's because you're isolated. You got to realize that they want you isolated. They want you just like to be this drone, this isolated drone of a man who just goes to work, comes home, watches Netflix, buys OnlyFans, touches his wiener and goes to bed, and does it all over again. Fuck that, I ain't doing that shit. I'm gonna make sure my life has some sort of fucking purpose. Even if it doesn't matter at the end of the day, I'm gonna do what I wanna do. And you should have that same energy, like, fuck doing what these people want me to do. I'm not doing that shit. I want to make my life have some meaning, and that means I can't be like everyone else. So yeah, talking more about this like sexual nature of society nowadays, I think it's really affected so many parts of our society. Where I feel like nowadays, even our like friendships between men and women, a lot of people don't think they can exist simply because as a society we've just over sexualized everything. And the fact, like, for example, at my local gym, there's like a couple people that I know, a couple people I talk to, there's a couple girls I speak to every now and again, just casual stuff like, oh, hey, how you doing? What you working on? Like, X, Y, okay, cool. And I've noticed every time I have a conversation with any woman in the gym, it feels like everyone's just looking over and imagining shit. I can just tell. I can tell because I used to do that shit as well, and it's so weird. Like we can't just accept. Okay, that's just two people talking. We'd have to have some sort of sexual commentary on it, where yeah, and then this happens, and I bet he's doing that. It's like I think this mentality keeps you childish as well. Like having to sexualize everything, it just keeps you in a box. You're not able to think outside of that box. And I feel like men, especially, a lot of men are really, really childish when it comes to like speaking about sex and just things in general, when like that. Because I think a lot of guys, they haven't really developed one, their language in order to even articulate what they want to say, and two, they haven't really got out of this like high school mentality when it comes to women and sex, where it's just like, oh yeah, I did this with this many girls, I'm the coolest guy. Oh yeah, that girl, she did this to me. Oh yeah, it's like and being around guys like that, I couldn't do it anymore. I could not do it anymore. There's only so many. Oh whoa, that's crazy, man. Yeah, sick. That you can do. Eventually, it's just like, yeah, let me get away from this guy. And that's the thing. I think so many young men get tricked into just going down this path because they don't want to, they want to avoid being alone, being a loner. Because the truth is, as men, we have to acknowledge this. When you don't like high five your guy friends for the dumb fucking shit they say and the sex stories and all that kind of dumb shit they do, they start thinking, oh, all right, what's wrong with this guy? Is he a hater? Is he gay? Literally, it's like that. Like so many guys, the friend groups are so just surface level. It's like we all have to agree on the same shit. We all got to think the same way, or we're just not friends. And I think again that's why I've definitely had periods in my life where it's like, okay, I ain't talking to no one because I don't feel like anyone is on the same shit that I'm on right now. Like I'm on very much focused on my journey, on my whatever the hell this is, this life shit. And people just want to talk about girls they're seeing and sex, and it's like, no, let's talk about the social, economic, political status of the world or something, man. Like, damn, not like that. Like, I'm not on no Jaden Smith shit, but bro, there's only so many times you're gonna talk about the same fucking stuff. But anyway, guys, what do you think? Is society too sexual, or do you like it like this? Do you like it like that? Let me know what you think. Nice chatting to you. Hope you thought this was interesting. Fuck it. And if you didn't, hey, I got you to watch this far. Alright. See you later. Speak soon.